critical levels. Are we getting bearish underside retests? Are we on the verge of breaking out? We need to discuss that exact topic today in this stream. We got lots of stuff to talk about, so we're going to get straight into it. Of course, answering your questions in the second half of the stream. So hold those burning questions. We'll answer a few throughout the stream, as we always do, but most of them at the end of the video. Okay, let's go. So, Jim Cramer, buy crypto. Shit. It was a good run, guys. Pack it up. We'll see you in 4 years. Jokes, of course. Jim has been all over crypto for a while, so it kind of becomes a bit of noise. And I know the inverse Jim Cramer thing is quite funny. Hopefully it doesn't strike again. Jim, shh, quiet, Jim. We're trying to have a bull run here, dude. Gergavin here saying there's now an 80% chances, according to prediction markets, okay, that there will be a government shutdown on Wednesday, according to Kalshi. All right. Yeah, probably not fantastic. We get government shutdown, but at the same time, not that big of a deal. Who the hell cares? You know, it might cause a bit of turbulence in the market for a few days and then whatever. But we'll see. We're, of course, a day away from that happening. So we'll find out if America's going to shut down the government again, man. We shall see. Probably not great sentiment-wise for the markets when that happens, but it's also not a big deal. The stock market is not the national parks or whatever other service are going to get shut down when the government shuts down. Continuing, check this out. Bullish propaganda. Okay, if you're not into bullish propaganda, close your eyes, close your ears, don't listen. If you don't hear the bullish propaganda, it's fine. Just look away. Check this out. October, November. Historically, and of course, past performance not equated to future returns. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Crypto's risky as fuck, and you can lose all your money. Don't forget that. Okay. Portfolio disclosures down below too, by the way, if you want to see those. Serious time. October, November tend to be some of the absolute best months in the cryptocurrency markets. Now, sometimes you'll see. Look back here through history. This is very fascinating. Look, October, average gains in October are like 20% for Bitcoin. Okay. November. Now, sometimes you're going to get a red November. Look, 2021, 2022, they weren't horrifically bad, but bad enough, right? 2018, 2019, these are bear market years, you know. But overall, even November tends to be a pretty good month. Now, December obviously is a mixed bag in terms of how overall performance here for Bitcoin, but October, November, Q4s, most years tend to have pretty good price appreciation, okay? This time can always be different. Some shit can happen. But with everything we see lining up, the betting odds would be that something decent happens to the markets over the next few months. Okay. If Bitcoin goes up, other things will go up too. All right. So continuing. Price of Bitcoin at a very critical level right now. In fact, quite a few coins are. Bitcoin, though, leading the pack ever so slightly. Look at this. So Bitcoin right now sitting at the, let's zoom in even more on that with our ridiculously large arrow here. Bitcoin right now sitting at the 20-day EMA. That's where you want to see it hold. You want to see the daily close above the 20-day EMA. It's currently at $113,000. If we fail to hold above that, then, well, this may just be our higher low before we put in a next lower low, okay? Let's see how the day finishes out. Let's see how the bulls can step up to the plate here for the rest of the day. But you want to see the EMAs hold up as price support here. Now, if we kind of consolidate in and around this area, that's also okay. But ideally, you want to see this breakout continues with some momentum here. The volumes have not been too crazy on this move up, adding a bit of weakness to the move. The cycle is finished. Higher sense. I disagree. Dramatically disagree for a variety of reasons we talk about on the show all the time. But I respect your opinion. I assume you're already 100% in cash, man. If so, hope you made a lot of profits and you're going to be farming some stable coin stuff and making some money. MACD heading back in the right direction, but a not confirmed bullish crossover yet. Okay. What about the RSI? RSI has broken out over the yellow control line. Momentum's moving in the right direction, but it's now pulling back as well. So again, we need to see a continuation of this to build some strength here. Really, really the big thing here, of course, is going to be seeing Bitcoin get back over this hump here so that we can say, well, what are we doing now? We're now establishing a good trend. You want to see this trend get established, something like this, right? Not this trend get established. Depends on your perspective, of course. If you want to buy at cheaper prices, and that's the trend you want, okay? If you want to sell for higher prices, you want the other trend. Anyway, watching to see these key levels, how they play out over this sort of government shutdown news. A bit of volatility, not to be unexpected during this time, but I'm not overly worried at this particular point in time. Bitcoin ETF saw $500 million yesterday of inflows. That's good. Now, we did have a lot of outflows last week, so that's something to contend with. But we did have $500 million of inflows yesterday, okay? What about our Ethereum ETFs? Let's have a look at those real quick. See what the inflows have been like for old buddy ETH. ETH also doing some nice inflows. Now, it was a very red week last week for Ethereum outflows, okay? So we saw about 750 million out, okay? But we saw 550 million in today, okay? Okay. Ethereum charts. Ethereum in a relatively similar spot to Bitcoin. Chart's not quite as good looking, let's say, because Bitcoin, of course, is already broken out above the EMAs and is now sitting at the 20-day, whereas ETH is right now just sitting at the bottom of the 50-day EMA. And that's the tricky part, right? That's the tricky part, because you need to break out here. Okay, you need to see ETH put in some strength. You need to see a lot of coins, because again, we're going to see a lot of charts like this today, like we were mentioning yesterday. We need to actually see a show of strength here for the market. Now, a pullback to like $4,000, cool and normal. Okay, but if you're going to get rejected, you're going to get rejected here at the underside retest of the EMA. That's a potential bearish retest. Now, the bearish retest doesn't necessarily mean you start a massive downtrend, but it's a key level to cross. Okay, pull back to 4,000 or break out over 4,200, which is around where the 50-day EMA is right now. So those are two key levels to watch. Okay, but a strong rejection here, and again, we start having to have that conversation, don't we, about the chart ending up looking more like this. When what we want it to do is look more like this, right? Depending on your perspective, of course. Guys, let's do a quick check-in on my trades here. See where we're at today. Went, of course, long on Bitcoin over the weekend. That trade so far is holding up around $4,000 in profits currently. The Solana trade here still just chilling. Probably a few times that I should have taken profit on that, but I want to win. I want to win big with this Solana trade, you know? Sometimes I just do smaller trades. This is one for a swing for the fences trade. It's either all or nothing. I hope it's all and not nothing, but we'll see how we go with that. The Bitcoin trade's a little bit of a smaller time frame trade, let's say. If you want to join me trading over on BitUnix, it has never been a better time to join up with BitUnix. Question you have to ask yourself: so will you start taking your trading seriously? Will you move over to an exchange that's going to respect your privacy and give you some crazy bonuses to sign up? VIP level 3 is going to give you 30% off your trading fees. $400 deposit bonus on depositing $2,000 or more. That's a crazy deal as well. Huge trading bonuses, and we're giving away $1,000 every live stream. Since today it is live stream, we better give away $1,000, guys. Currently, we have 2,852 people up for the giveaway. Let's ask Grok to grok it up here and give us an answer. I'm curious to see what kind of numbers Grok's going to come up with today. Do 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 do. Still are we holding our dry powder till the weekend? Depends on what dry powder you have. I mean, I'm largely deployed already. I've got some cash on the side, but it's largely not cash for redeploying into the cryptocurrency market. My bags are kind of packed, but there's a little bit of cash that is sitting around. I might just keep DCAing into some of my conviction bags. Getting it a few percent lower, it's not that huge of a deal for me at this particular point. For trades, it's different, right? Spot positions, that's one thing. Trades, look for good entry points, right? Or breakout points. 718 and 1181, great. 718, 1181, let's go. 1181, make sure we get the right guy. Here we go. Look at that, this dude put in $98. You're getting $500 back, buddy. Congratulations to 614-267-134. Nice. So that's 1181. Got the right number. 1181, 718. 718. Let's go. And 718 up here. Here. This dude only put in $50. Look at that. You're getting $500 back, buddy. 873-872-114. Of course, with the user IDs, guys, you have to check, okay? You have to check and see if that was your user ID. We're not sharing email addresses, obviously, to preserve people's privacy. Okay, congratulations to today's winners. Come back tomorrow. We'll have a couple more winners for you. Okay, so continuing. Check this out. Big news for the cryptocurrency markets. It's from Eleanor Tourette. She is all over the crypto scene. So more context for those asking whether this withdrawal is a bad thing. So that's in relation to this. So the SEC has asked issuers of the Litecoin, XRP, Solana, Cardano, man, and Dogecoin ETFs to withdraw their 19B-4 filings. Nerds. Now, the reason why is because following the approval of generic listing standards, they don't need to go through this process anymore. It replaces the need for these filings in the first place. So it's a weird spot to be in because we were 10 days away from Solana ETF getting approved. Now they're telling like, yeah, just withdraw all your application. You don't need to do that stuff anymore. It's fine. You can just do it through the generic listing process and just get listed because you're a non-controversial commodity, right? It's kind of annoying. We're so close. But also probably it means we're going to have a lot more crypto ETFs coming to the market sooner than people think. Okay, so we'll see. I suppose they're going to have to go through a new application process, might move things out a little bit farther than we'd like to. But anyway, yeah. Lark, I thought there was minimum $100 people wouldn't scam. You know, I said $10 back in the day just so people weren't putting like $5 in. But, you know, I thought screw it, whatever. Who knows, man? We're just going to keep it up to what it is. You know, if people put in $50 and win, they put in $50 and win the giveaway. Too much thinking for me to think about. Well, you know, so not everybody's trying to scam the system either. Sometimes people just go, just put in $50, see what happens. It's fine. Congratulations to the winners. Okay. Now this is very interesting. We're going to get a lot of crypto ETFs coming in pretty soon. And it's going to bring a lot of liquidity to certain coins, Litecoin, XRP, Solana, Cardano. Yes, Cardano holders. It doesn't matter. Nothing's happening on your chain. Nothing's happening on Dogecoin either, man. And they're both going to get ETFs. Glory be. May all the coins pump. May all your bags pump. May everybody get rich and islands and girlfriends and all that kind of stuff, okay? Anyway, it's interesting. I think Solana and XRP will still pick up the most flows from this. But Litecoin, Cardano, Doge will also pick up some stuff. Now, when we're going to see listings now, I don't know. But pretty soon, my guess is. Now, XRP, considering it's one of the ones that was mentioned, let's talk about it. Currently sitting at, oh, surprise, surprise, a bearish underside retest on the EMAs, okay? I'm really starting to think it's over. YouTubers always say there's another leg up until their followers are completely wrecked. Look, digital trading, first and foremost, I'm just a dude sharing my opinions on the internet. I don't want you guys to get wrecked. I want you guys to make shit tons of fucking money, okay? First and foremost, all right? We're looking at the charts. We're looking at all the macro data. My opinion is that this market cycle still has a lot of fuel left in the tank, okay? Well into 2026 is my guess. Now, that being said, if you think it's over, digital trading, my dude, you are the one in charge of the buy and sell button on your end, right? If you think it's over, sell all your coins, get out now and be done. Remove the stress from your life. You don't need this bullshit anyway, man. Just free yourself from the shackles of looking at your coins all the time and stuff like that, okay? It's all good. But also, always make your own decisions, guys. Okay. I share my opinions on here. You should not take the things that I say as gospel. Look at other people. Check out what other people are saying. I try to give you a wide take of what other people are saying, what the experts are saying, what other analysts are saying, my take on the charts, all that kind of stuff. And you guys need to go make your own decisions on anything. We're not giving you guys financial advice. We're not telling you when to buy things or sell things, right? We're giving my opinions on the chart. Right now, a lot of things are in downtrends. Look at XRP. It's a downtrend, right? Look, here we go. First, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high here. It's just simple. It's a downtrend. How long that downtrend lasts, does that mean it's over and then we're going to have basically XRP pull one of these deals? That's actually, we need more space on the chart. It's not bearish enough. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So this was going to happen XRP, guys. We're going down. It's going down back here. Here we go. It's over. Back to 50 cents. I don't necessarily think that's the case, right? Not until market structure breaks. Watch the structure of the market. Watch the structure of the charts. Where are we at right now? Okay. Essentially, XRP is in a big, fat descending wedge. When that breaks out, at some point, as long as the bottom structure holds here, then we're good. Okay. If that fails to hold, if this is indeed a bearish underside retest and sends the market much lower and we break through about 268, I mean, I'll probably close my leverage trade at that position. You know, could have made more on it. We'll still make money. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. But you need to watch the charts and see what they're telling you. Right now, XRP is in a downtrend, not a horrific downtrend, more of a sideways consolidation period, but technically a downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, even though they're not big in difference. Okay. So look at the charts, see what they're telling you, right? Other coins look very different, by the way. Solana has had a fantastic run, but it's also back under the key EMAs, which I do not love. All right. Obviously, you want to see us put in some more strength here. Now, Solana had an incredible run. We were talking about that. We had a beautiful run of some very solid structure of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, up, 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 until we hit about 250, which interestingly was the initial breakout target from, I remember we were talking about the ascending triangle back here that was had a top around here. Interestingly, it came right up to hit that breakout target. Technical analysis, man, it's cool shit. Now, the problem currently is, can we get momentum built back up again? Volume has been relatively low currently. MACD is trending down, although the histograms are starting to move back up a little bit, but let's see how the next few days play out, right? RSI has not yet regained significant momentum and is trading under the control line here. On the EMA side, we're currently seeing the 50-day EMA. Defend the 50-day EMA, bounce, good, okay? 20-day EMA retake ideally, all right? 95.50, some serious support for Solana. So a little worried about that retracement to 170. Yeah, we'll see how Solana holds up for the next few days here. I still think Solana's got so many positive catalysts coming. Not only is like most use blockchain and all that kind of stuff, but we got the ETFs coming. We got the digital asset treasury companies still buying. Okay, so I think there's a lot still to like about Solana, and it's going to go up to $440, which is the 1.618 Fibonacci target. Okay, and that probably happens at some point in Q4, at which point we'll take some profits on that position. Pengu. Meme coins are definitely not in favor right now. Definitely not in favor currently. Not a fantastic looking chart. We've had basically an underside retest on the previous support, so it's a bearish retest. Still hold my spot bags, not entering back into a leverage trade on this until I see it so it show a little more strength. Pump, similar situation, bounced off the 50-day, rejected off the 20-day. You need to see it bounce off the 50-day again. I would not bet against the pump crew to pump this coin again. Okay. What's your opinion on CryptoCon selling all his coins? It was interesting with CryptoCon. He's a dude who does analysis over on X. It was interesting when he sold his coins because up until that day, he was posting basically continual wildly bullish propaganda, which we shared some of his charts. They're good charts. And then one day he's just like, I'm out. I can't take this shit anymore. I'm taking my money, man. I'm running away. Fair play. You know what? Dude made money. He bought the lows. He sold. He rode the train far enough. Respect. He took his money off the table. He knew when was enough for him. I think we go higher. I think the cycle still has a lot of juice left in it. Again, looking at the macro, looking at the rate cutting cycle, looking at the global M2, looking at the ISM, PMI, all this kind of stuff. Doesn't mean we can't have corrections. Of course we'll have corrections. Of course there'll be fucking just giant, disgusting corrections that make you question everything. But I think we go well into 2026. I do not think the cycle is over yet. Okay. Even CryptoCon's charts that he posted on a regular basis shows the crypto's not over. The cycle's not over. Actually, it's pretty interesting to see him jump off the train. But hey, you know what? Sometimes shit just gets to your head and you're like, you know what? Screw it. I can't take this shit anymore. I got to get out of here. I get it. I do. Anyway, pump bags are packed. Not fading the pump team here to absolutely think this thing running. Now, here's an interesting one for you. Lark, a while ago for the Chainlink Reserve, I asked you about the token, and you're mildly enthusiastic about it. Has this changed since the reserve and Swift, etc.? I mean, look, I still think Chainlink's a fantastic coin. I just don't have any right now, right? And the market hasn't been bidding it up. The market hasn't been bidding up like it probably should be. Realistically, Chainlink's one of the most important coins in the market, but it just doesn't get, do some more aggressive buybacks. I know they have the reserve thing now and they're going to start buying some stuff back, but like beef that up, man. Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't think Sergey cares about the price. He cares about the tech. He cares about adoption. And if you want a slow burner of a coin, it's Chainlink. And I think Chainlink will continue to do incredibly well. Anyway, we're going to talk about Linea real quick. Got a couple more things I want to talk about with you guys. We're going to hop into your questions, okay? Now, Linea, I've heard, it seems like this is true. Somebody asked about yesterday. There was some besides translates to crypto ass in French. Anyway, so Linea, the blockchain, layer 2, built on top of Ethereum, run by consensus, all that kind of stuff. Apparently, they're going to be running production tests with JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, BNY Mellon, HSBC, and Santander with Swift's blockchain settlement system. Consensus built the infrastructure, replaces $150 billion in annual settlement delays. Trades at the same FDV as Scroll. Fuck. That's actually pretty. How's Scroll even vaguely relevant anymore? Now, look, here's the deal. Linea is a layer 2. They do have buybacks. That's a good thing. They buy back with daily chain fees. They spend, I think, 50% of their daily chain fees to buy back Linea off the market and take it out of circulation, which is good. Problem is, right now, the monthly chain revenue is like $500,000 or some shit like that. So it's not great. Not great, okay? That being said, if this Swift partnership with all these big banks actually plays out and they start running huge amounts of stable coins across this network, we could see fees absolutely skyrocket. But you need fees to at least 10x. You need daily fees to be a few $1 million. Then we have a significant burn. Then we have narrative. Then we have finally a layer 2 token that's not complete dumpster shit garbage. That would be good. Okay. That would be fantastic. Linea is currently worth $400 million, circulating 1.8 billion FDV. Not taking a position on this, but I am watching. It's interesting. Hype, similar situation, came back down to a key level of price support, came back up for a bearish underside retest on the 20 and 50-day EMAs. Bulls need to step at the F up and get us back above those key moving averages, okay? Aster, currently sitting at about $1.75, doing dramatically higher volume than Hyperliquid. In fact, the #1 revenue generating app in all of crypto again today. That's insane. Even had a Tether. It's like crazy numbers for something that's only worth like $3 billion or whatever right now. We're the 5th of what Hyperliquid is in doing 10x the volume. It's crazy stuff, man. XPL, this is the hot new thing called Plasma. This is Tether's layer 1 blockchain dealio. It has been selling off pretty hard since it got up to about $1.70. We're now down to about $1. The key area of price support, when, by the way, it looks like we might be breaking through price support. And this is a 1-hour chart. It's a very, very new coin, so it's always hard to value these coins and see how they'll actually play out in the market. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of support at $1.12 approximately. They've broken under that now. So if you're an XPL bull, watch for some discounts. Again, this is the 1-hour chart. It's getting oversold on the 1 hour. We have very little price history to go with on this, okay? So it's really hard to say chart-wise how we can value this and all that kind of stuff, but just be careful. We are breaking through what was established as a key area of price support. New listings, no matter how much hype there is in the first few days, can have big pullbacks, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, there you go. That's all the stuff. Holy cow. Can't keep it under 25 minutes, can I? Nope. Nope. Anyway, let's go. So, Hydrate yourselves. Don't forget. Not sure everyone, quote from Annie, not sure why everyone's hyped on Aster. I think the reason, I mean, yes, CZ's previous things like the launchpad and stuff done pretty hard. The question, I think, is when will we get buybacks announced? Okay, that's the thing what everyone's waiting on. Binance spot listing and buybacks. Okay, that's probably the big defining factor for Aster. Okay, the revenue is crazy right now, and if you're looking for fundamentals, fantastic. Problem is, right now the revenue does not flow back to the token. If they were buying back tokens every day to the tune of like $20 million a day, holy crap. But right now, the token is not doing buybacks. When they start buybacks, it could be very, very significant, and that could be they've said they're going to do it. The question is when they're going to do it. That's, I think, the reason why the hype is around an Aster. And obviously, CZ tweeting about it and stuff like that. Yeah, fantastic. And he's never tweeted about anything like this to this extent before. Okay, isn't work dull? Says imagine if they announce 1% buyback. If they announce 1% buyback, that's going to be absolutely lame. And I think the market will dump the shit out of this. So there's that. That being said, if the buyback is decent, and if they get the Binance spot listing, which I think is supposed to happen tomorrow or the next day, that probably brings in a lot of liquidity, but it also may just bring in a lot of exit liquidity for people who bought in early and are looking to sell now, okay? So yeah, I could definitely see a decent pullback on this, especially with the October 5th airdrop coming up, okay? Perp dexes are the flavor of the month. To an extent, I agree they are the flavor of the month. The thing is, what apps make revenue? That's the tricky question. What apps actually make revenue? What's actually making revenue, right? Right now, apps are making revenue. A lot of that's airdrop farming, but still, look what makes revenue. I think the revenue-making apps have a lot more chance of being sticky, right? And I think a lot of the perp dexes that are pumping, I mean, the stats on a lot of these things a week or two ago was utterly horrendous, and now they're like pumping hundreds or thousands of percent. Doesn't always make sense. Like I said, ARC pumps 20,000%, and it was literally dead, and nobody was using it, but they pumped it up anyway. Okay. Larky bullish on stable. I mean, it's interesting. I've looked into it. Another do buybacks and stuff. I think there's a lot to like about stable potentially. And somebody was saying today that, I think in the Discord link down below, if you want to check out Discord, by the way, I think somebody's saying in Discord today that the team has said that a lot of their marketing and like foundation coins or whatever are not going to be sold, but they're actually locked and staked, and then they use the staking income from that for those purposes, which means a lot less sell pressure on the market. Okay, somebody was asking about synthetics. Let me just bring that up here for you. Where is this dude asking about SNX? Yeah, let's look at the SNX charts. Man, I've not looked at SNX in a long time. They have an exchange coming soon, don't they? Oh, look at that big pump today. Why is synthetics pumping today? Have they finally announced the something's happening on synthetics finally? Look, synthetics, it's an OG DeFi platform, but not a lot of people have been using it. I'm not saying no one's been using it, but not a lot of people have been using it. We even had a period this year where their stablecoin depegged for like weeks on end, and just nobody cared because nobody's using it. And that was pretty much an indictment of itself. Like, there's it at here. See if I can find it. Synthetics. Oh, here we go. SUSD. Yeah, it looks like it's back to peg. I'm just going to see how long it was actually depegged for. 3 months. So it's only now. It's only today reached back to peg. That's crazy. It was repegged again in August, but it was bad there for a while in July. I should put this on screen so you guys can see. Hold on a second. Let me just squeeze this in here. There we go. So look at this. Back in July, let's put it back for a year. it's had horrific depegging events. I mean, look at that. March, it went all the way down to 73 cents, and it didn't actually fully repeg until August. Yikes. That's crazy. Basically, no trading volume on either. So, I mean, look, the synthetics has struggled for a variety of reasons. That being said, I know that they're, where'd the SNX chart go? That being said, I know that they are launching their, what the heck is their, Kane and the guys, they're launching some new fancy exchange thing that everyone's really excited about. And yeah, but the chart looks like this. This is all the way back to 2021, man. That's the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart. Weekly chart looks fucking brutal. But we have a 50-week EMA breakout coming on. So, hey, we got that going for it. Okay, here we go. Daily chart here. Daily chart. It's had a nice big fat breakout this week. Okay, going from 60 cents to $1.20, going up basically 100% this week. Look at this. Volume finally stepped in, but look how utterly dead the volume has been for synthetics for an incredibly long time. Every once in a while, I see a little volume spike, but again, that just, people haven't really been very excited about the synthetics in a very long time. And I know they got their new thing coming, but I don't know. Maybe there's some reason why this is pumping beyond just the sort of perp dex meta, but yeah, I don't know. Not particularly interested in synthetics. It's an OG DeFi protocol, but I think it's one that's struggled, and the USD synthetics USD depegs have been sort of evidence of that. But you know, respect to the team for, you know, doing all the stuff they've done over the years. I'm sure that their new launch will do very well. Continuing. Okay. This is question time. Panga's going next to Faces, though. You look like Crypto Pope with that hat. Just a man trying to make sure his hair stays on as long as possible. Stable has better risk to reward than Plasma. Certainly a much lower circulating in FDV. And my goodness gracious. Holy cow, Peter. I hold heaps of MOGs. 70% of my portfolio is in the MOG meme coin. Brother, you're living on the wild side. Is SHIB dead? I mean, no, but also kind of. You know, no shade on that dog coin here, man. But I mean, think about how fast the attention moves in the meme coin space, right? It's had a pretty brutal chart, unsurprisingly. You can have a look at it here. Think about how fast attention moves in the meme coin space, right? I'm actually surprised that Shiba Inu is still worth like, what, $10 billion or whatever it's worth right now. That to me is pretty crazy. Now, that being said, just because things don't make sense doesn't mean that it's all over for it, right? Let's look at it like that, for example. So we have a general area of price support that's kind of held up since early last year. That's around 0.000011 approximately. But I honestly have no idea why anybody be buying Shiba Inu in 2025. I mean, it was really last cycle's meme coin. I know the Shiba Inu guys, they've tried to do all kinds of stuff to get people excited about it. And there's like DeFi and shit over there, but like nobody really cares. Who the hell is using Shiba Inu, man? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The market doesn't care. Nothing's really happening over there. At least the Bonk guys tried to launch a meme coin launchpad. That was a cool idea. It didn't work out super successfully so far, but hey, cool idea. Good on you for trying, right? Shiba Inu, I don't know. Feels massively overpriced at these levels. And if you're going to be bidding on a meme, which memes are not in fashion right now, I'm sure they'll be again very soon. But if you're bidding on memes, why not bid on something that's under $1 billion market cap or around like $1 billion or $2 billion? So much more upside. I mean, what's the upside on Shiba Inu or Dogecoin? At least Dogecoin, like there's a bunch of old Bitcoin whales and shit that just love Dogecoin. They'll pump that at some point. Are you still taking a position in Athena? I'm still thinking about it. Just watching the charts. It's been going down pretty steadily. Probably getting into a buy zone at this point, actually. Let's bring the chart up, Lark. Where is it at? Do we have it up here already? Here we go. Currently sitting at the 200-day EMA. Now, probably not a bad spot to look to try to bid. but I'm not bidding yet. I'm going to see how it goes. I think I might wait till the MACD turns around a little bit or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Now we're getting all these different, the problem. I think Athena is really good, especially into a rate cutting cycle because it doesn't depend on US Treasury yields. But the problem is right now we have all these other stablecoin players coming out. We have Stable, STBL, we have Plasma, XPL, right? All these sort of things and more stuff coming. I was just looking through my notes and stuff. There's like a USDC one that's basically like Plasma, but for USDC coming soon-ish, I guess. So, you know, there's stuff going on. But I do like Athena, though. I think it's probably one of the more interesting stablecoin protocols, and I feel like I need some stablecoin love in my portfolio. My phone's broken, so when I turned 45, my hair started shedding like a cat. Oh, shit. I went to Shib's funeral last month. Oh, my gosh. Go hard or go home. That's my theory. Fair enough, Peter. Fair enough. I hope it works out for you, man. Shiba Inu is the Cardano of meme coins. Come on now. That's not fair to Shiba Inu. Okay, come on. Let me see here. One or two more questions, guys. What are your thoughts on Circle trying to find a way to reverse transactions? I don't even know why they need to do that. They have the power to freeze your assets. It's one of the things about using, you know, USDT and USDC is that when they get like a request from the FBI, if they know, they will freeze the coins in your address, which is mostly used against hackers and stuff like this. Okay, just FYI, but still, that the technology exists, they do it. So they don't even need to reverse the transaction necessarily, but for that. But in terms of like, you know, using USDC for a merchant and then, you know, it's basically like a credit callback or whatever those things are called, chargeback. I don't know. I think that's makes it a trickier proposition for merchants to accept. Like, oh yeah, it works just like a credit card, except it's all this new tech jumble bullshit, and you just, you know, at least with crypto, it's like, okay, your transaction's irreversible. Once it's sent. But maybe there'll be some kind of appeals process for, but then it's just really them just freezing whatever USDC gets sent somewhere else, and then they reissue the USDC back over, for example, to you if you have, I don't know, you sent it to the wrong, sent it to a dead address, or I don't know what the hell happens. But I haven't heard about that. People boom too, but yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Mantra is getting about the same volume as Jupiter is these days. I'm right in thinking it can recover. Jupiter can. I mean, can Mantra pump again? Sure. They crimed the shit out of it last time. The question is, should Mantra pump again? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Does it deserve to be worth whatever the hell it was worth before? I mean, go look at the partnerships. Go look at what's happening, all this kind of stuff. Does Mantra deserve to be worth 10x what it's worth today? Is it actually that much of a RWA protocol that it has, you know, that value in it? I'm not so certain. And if you like Mantra, why wouldn't you like Ondo Finance? We know Ondo's legit. We know that they're doing what they say they're doing. Cardano's still going to all-time high, then it'll do nothing. Crashes always does. So hold on to your neck beards. Love the cardamom. The cardamom rage bait. When Cardano pump. Oh, Cardano will pump at some point. It will. When Bitcoin hits the next all-time high, will you finally change your background? Never. Never, Sofa Surfer. These are classics, man. They're gonna be in the studio till we shut the channel down. Okay. Why does no one talk about Aave? Aave is doing really good. I don't think their stablecoin is very successful. It's the GHO stablecoin. It hasn't been super successful. I think Aave as a protocol, holy shit. Aave, man. Big stuff. But yeah, I don't know why more people don't talk about Aave. They should. We talk about Aave sometimes. Not as much as we should, but I have bag buys. I like to talk about my bags. I don't hold everything we talked about today. Some of the things, yes. Some of the things, no. Some of the things I'm looking at. Some of the things I'm interested in. Some of the things the markets are talking about right now. We look at that stuff, right? Anyway, you guys are awesome. We'll finish up there for today. 40 minutes. All right, not too bad. You're awesome. I'll see you back tomorrow. Peace.